They look almost the same. White, fresh, milky, Italian, and beautiful next to tomatoes, basil, and olive oil. But one of them is firm, elastic, clean, and made for stretch. The other is basically a little cheese pouch filled with cream, drama, and one of the most viral cheese moments on the internet. Most people think burrata is just fancy mozzarella. That's wrong, and once you see what is actually inside burrata, you'll never confuse them again. Today, we're breaking down mozzarella versus burrata, how they're made, why they taste different, why burrata became so famous, why some chefs now say it's completely overused, and finally, which one you should actually buy. And if you love cheese, follow CheeseHeavenTV and visit our Instagram page for more cheese stories, behind-the-scenes visuals, and new video ideas. The confusion makes sense. Mozzarella and burrata are close relatives. They both belong to the family of pasta filata cheeses, meaning stretched curd cheeses. That's the magic behind their smooth, elastic texture. The curd is heated, stretched, folded, and shaped until it becomes glossy and flexible. This is why mozzarella melts beautifully, stretches perfectly, and still keeps its clean, delicate flavor. Burrata starts from the same process, but here's the key difference. Mozzarella is mozzarella all the way through. Burrata isn't. It has an outside and an inside, and that inside changes everything. Let's start with mozzarella. It is one of the world's most important cheeses because it does something very few cheeses can do so well. It stays mild, fresh, elastic, and incredibly versatile. Milk becomes curd. The curd is warmed, then stretched in hot water until it becomes smooth, shiny, and flexible before being shaped into balls, knots, braids, or blocks. In fact, the name mozzarella comes from the Italian practice of cutting the cheese by hand. A good, fresh mozzarella should taste delicate, milky, slightly elastic, and wonderfully clean. It doesn't try to dominate a dish. It supports it. That's why you'll find it everywhere. On pizza, in lasagna, panini, caprese salad, baked pasta, and simple plates with tomatoes and olive oil. There are also different styles of mozzarella. Fresh mozzarella is soft and stored in liquid. Low-moisture mozzarella is drier and perfect for pizza because it melts without releasing too much water. Mozzarella di bufala campana, DOP, is made from buffalo milk and has a richer, more intense flavor, while fior di latte is made from cow's milk and is usually sweeter and more delicate, so mozzarella is far from boring. It's one of the great foundation cheeses, but burrata is built for the reveal. On the outside, burrata looks like a ball of mozzarella, but inside it hides something completely different. The outer shell is made from stretched curd cheese, but it's filled with stracciatella, a mixture of shredded mozzarella strands and fresh cream. That's the secret. When you cut burrata open, you don't get firm cheese all the way through. Instead, the creamy center flows out, creating a rich, buttery texture that's completely different from mozzarella. Mozzarella gives you structure, burrata gives you contrast. This is the difference most people get wrong. Burrata isn't simply better mozzarella, it's a different cheese with a different purpose. That's why it tastes richer, behaves differently on the plate, and became a social media superstar. Burrata was once a regional specialty from Puglia in southern Italy. Today it's everywhere. Restaurants, supermarkets, TikTok, Instagram, summer menus, pizza shops, pasta dishes, and luxury brunches. And it's easy to understand why. Burrata doesn't just sit on a plate, it performs. The moment you cut it open, the creamy filling spreads across tomatoes, bread, vegetables, or pasta, creating the kind of food moment everyone wants to film. It became the cheese of the camera age because it isn't just eaten, it is revealed. It also fits perfectly into modern food culture. People want dishes that look luxurious while remaining simple. Tomatoes and mozzarella are beautiful. Tomatoes and burrata feel like an event. But here's the controversial part. Some chefs now say burrata is overused. And they may have a point because it became so popular that restaurants started putting it on everything. Pizza, add burrata. Pasta, Add burrata. Salad. Add burrata. Toast. Add burrata. A dish looks boring. Add burrata and charge more. But burrata isn't magic. It's rich, creamy, and delicate. On dishes that are already heavy, it can make everything feel flat. Too much cream hides freshness, and if it's served too cold, it loses both flavor and texture. If it's placed directly onto very hot food, it can become watery. Burrata shines when paired with simple, balanced ingredients like ripe tomatoes, basil, olive oil, grilled vegetables, peaches, prosciutto, crusty bread, or spooned over warm pasta just before serving. It should be the centerpiece, not an afterthought. So which one should you buy? The answer is simple. Buy mozzarella when you want structure. Buy burrata when you want luxury. Mozzarella is the better choice for pizza, lasagna, panini, and dishes where the cheese needs to melt, stretch, slice, or hold its shape. Burrata is best when the cheese is the star of the plate, a summer tomato salad, grilled bread with olive oil, pasta finished at the table, or an elegant starter for guests. And don't cook burrata like mozzarella. It's meant to be added at the end and served fresh, preferably close to room temperature, so its creamy center can fully shine. The easiest way to remember the difference is this. Mozzarella is the foundation. Burrata is the finale. Mozzarella is the cheese that makes the dish work. Burrata is the cheese that makes people stop and look. So no, burrata is not just fancy mozzarella. They come from the same stretched curd family, but they're built for different jobs. Mozzarella is clean, elastic, milky, and endlessly versatile. Burrata is soft, creamy, rich, and dramatic. If you want the perfect everyday Italian cheese, choose mozzarella. If you want that unforgettable creamy moment that makes everyone around the table pause for a second, choose burrata, but use it with respect. Because when burrata is fresh and paired with the right ingredients, it's one of the most seductive cheeses in the world. And when mozzarella is made well, it reminds us that simplicity can be every bit as powerful as luxury. So now I want to know, are you Team Mozzarella or Team Burrata? Let me know in the comments. Tell me which cheese you'd like us to cover next. And don't forget to follow CheeseHeavenTV on Instagram for more cheese stories, visuals, and behind-the-scenes content. CheeseHeavenTV, where cheese lovers unite.